Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Rachel Dahl. Today on the show, we're talking bugs with Jeff Knight. He's our state entomologist at the Nevada Department of Agriculture. Today on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The next time there's a crisis, at school or in your neighborhood, who do you trust to protect your family? Who do you want answering the phone? A corrupt politician looking for headlines? Or a tested leader?
This is Joe.
You knew the answer. Joe Lombardo has served with honor and integrity. And unlike our current governor, he'll put service before self, just like he always has.
It's the $250,000 progressive windfall of cash at Carson Valley Inn. Weekly progressives could accumulate up to $35,000 in cash and $20,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. It's the $250,000 progressive windfall of cash at the Carson Valley Inn.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org. With Nevada's only transplant center and verified burn center, the science is here. With award-winning cardiologist and the state's only dedicated heart failure clinic, the talent is here. With Nevada's most advanced robotic surgery, the technology is here. And with the Silver State's only designated pediatric trauma center, hope is here. All because we are here. UMC.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Good morning. Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Rachel Dahl. Today on the show, we have Jeff Knight, who is the state entomologist working for the Nevada Department of Agriculture. Jeff has been at the department for 37 years. Talk to us about what the state entomologist does for 37 years.
Have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
actually.
You must.
Yeah, no, it's been a very enjoyable job. It's primarily a regulatory position that the entomologist oversees, and my team work on all the quarantines for insects that we want to keep out of Nevada. Along with that, if we do find some, we oversee the eradication efforts, which we have some right now. We're working with in Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
For red imported fire ant.
Okay.
We have some sites down there that we caught ants in. We do surveys for these species and for other invasive species that we want to keep out of Nevada.
Okay.
That's the crux of it. Then I support all our other programs, like the nursery inspection program,
right,
the phytosanitary program for exporting crops and stuff that we grow in the state. There's a lot of times insect requirements they have to meet.
Yeah, we don't want people bringing their bugs to us, so we probably shouldn't send them
and we shouldn't be sending them out.
There's
There's certain ones we have to certify that the products aren't on.
That's interesting.
So that's sort of the main crux of it, but then we get into, I oversee the reference collection of insects for the state of Nevada, and that's some of these. We have probably 300,000 specimens in the collection roughly right now, identified specimens plus a whole bunch more waiting to be worked on.
Wow.
So then there's an educational component. we get out and we do a lot of trainings for pest control companies, pest control licensing. They have to. They're required to get continuing education units, so they maintain their educational part, and we do that. I also work with the nursery industry, and we do trainings for those. And of course, just for the public, there's various gardening groups and master gardeners and Nevada naturalists, a whole bunch of different things I do lectures for.
That's awesome.
So that's...
How do you guys work with the local mosquito folks across the state?
Well, mosquitoes aren't our thing, but our animal disease laboratory does do all the testing for West Nile and a number of the other arboviruses, as they're called. We do work closely with the other mosquito abatement groups on different things, and when we were doing surveys for West Nile virus, we actually did the surveys in areas that didn't have mosquito, for the rural counties that didn't have mosquito abatement districts.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Places like Pershing County and Humboldt County and Lander County.
Okay.
So, but we work closely with all across the state. The job is statewide. It's been great. You get to see a lot of parts of Nevada.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that your indexing project sounds like you just get to do your hobby.
Well, yeah.
Most people do what you do as a hobby, and it's your life.
I've been lucky. I got interested in insects when I was young and got into 4-H entomology, and I've been collecting insects ever since.
That's amazing. When you were 9, there was entomology in 4-H.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do they still have that in 4-H nowadays?
I don't know. Yeah. When I came back from graduate school, I was a leader for a little while and then drifted away from it. And it's just a matter of somebody's out there that wants to. There's a couple places that have had them over the years.
That's neat. I love it when we get kids involved in something early and it ends up being what they do over there.
I always thought it was kind of unique, but actually I started talking to a bunch of other entomologists, and that's pretty much the way a lot of us get started. And
that's awesome.
And stay with it.
Well, you brought props, and this is always a good summertime Nevada topic.
Yeah, Mormon crickets for the last 4 or 5 years have been an issue in northern Nevada, and the last 2 years pretty much border to border, from California to Utah.
Wow.
We've had issues. The numbers were maybe slightly down this year around the Winnemucca area, which has been a hot area the last few years, and maybe on the rise a little bit over toward Elko and that part of Nevada. But we survey for the crickets, and if we find what we consider economic or treatable populations, we then try and treat them if they meet our priorities.
If they're going to have an impact on a crop
on crop, public safety, urban areas to a degree.
Okay.
The program is primarily aimed at crops and rangeland forage.
Okay.
To protect that. So.
And then we were talking a little bit about the highways, because if you go anywhere in the summertime, you're going to go through a patch of them out in the desert.
and you got to be careful. What happens is they're cannibalistic.
Oh.
And one car runs over one, and then 2 or 3 come out to eat their buddy, and they get run over, and it eventually builds up. And it can get to the point of being slick, but especially bad when we get the early summer
a little bit of
rainfalls, thunderstorms, or something like that. And we have had a number of accidents that happen each year.
So if people see those on the road, they need to, signs or not, they need to be careful.
Yeah, they need to slow down. You can tell the road turns kind of reddish, and and you'll see them there, especially when they're bigger.
Yeah, they're lovely, and they crunch under your tires.
But we work. It's a cooperative project with USDA APHIS,
Oh,
Plant
okay.
Protection and Quarantine Group.
Yeah, okay.
And we go out, like I said, and survey, then we put control programs together, and they have 1 or 2 people that work on the program, and we have a couple of seasonals and myself. And it's a big partnering
That's
thing.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm super curious how you found the fire ants in Vegas. Like, how do you find an invasive species?
Well,
like, how do they get here?
We run a lot of different traps around the state, and each trap is designed for the species we're looking for.
Okay.
Some of the traps will use a pheromone,
Okay.
like a sex pheromone for the spongy moth.
For that species?
For that species.
Okay.
The spongy moth, it's one that the males can smell like a 1/4 mile away.
Okay.
And so they fly to the trap, and that's where we can determine if they might be in the area.
Okay.
We have bark beetle traps for exotic bark beetles that mimic unhealthy trees and may actually have pheromones in them also.
Oh, wow.
The fire ant traps are a bait trap, and we use crumbled up potato chips.
Oh, no kidding.
And believe it or not, how effective the trap is depends on using the right kind of potato chip, actually. The oil is what attracts them, and if they use a different oil in the frying process, and the ants may not be attracted to it. But we go around to newly landscaped areas and even older areas, and we put out somewhere around 2,000 traps a year in southern Nevada is kind of our goal. We used to put a lot more, but as funding decreases, but we found...
For those ants or for everything?
For every, you know, in general,
Yeah.
The funding has gone down a bit, but we put the traps out, we identify them, then we go back and work with the landowner to eradicate.
Okay.
And in this case, it's been actually 2 parts, some parks in Las Vegas and Henderson.
Okay.
And we've actually, they finished one eradication program earlier this year on a park in Las Vegas. We've got to go check it. We go back and then check it out to make sure that they've actually eradicated the ants.
Okay.
But in that same process, we also look at see how the things came in.
That's what,
And
how'd they get here?
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing. These, we don't know on these yet.
Oh, really?
It's a really tough thing because it's been several years since any landscape. Normally, these ants come in on landscaping.
Okay.
On plants from infested areas.
Makes sense.
But we don't know how these got there yet. We're still looking at it, but we try and find what the pathways are for these things and then try and stop them through the pathway, and that's where we use our quarantines. If we know there's certain materials coming in that are infested, then we can quarantine those materials.
Okay.
To keep the pests from coming in.
Cool. All right. Well, we need to take just a little break, and then we'll come back and talk about some more bugs.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers.
It's the $85,000 football frenzy at Tamarack Casino with up to $15,000 in weekly cash and free play giveaways and $25,000 in grand prize giveaways Thursday, September 29th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino during the $85,000 football frenzy.
The next time there's a crisis, at school or in your neighborhood, who do you trust to protect your family? Who do you want answering the phone? A corrupt politician looking for headlines? Or a tested leader?
This is Joe.
You knew the answer. Joe Lombardo has served with honor and integrity. And unlike our current governor, he'll put service before self, just like he always has.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project. adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com. I'm here at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden with Joey Whitaker. Entertainment here at the Carson Valley Inn is extraordinary.
Yeah, super proud of the TJ's Corral, our outdoor venue, about 1,500 seats. We've had first-class entertainment out there. We've had Merle Haggard, we've had Chris Young, we've had Lee Brice a couple times, we've had Pat Benatar, Joan Jett, who's in the Hall of Fame. We're real proud out there, and it's just a great time. Watch CarsonValleyInn.com and grab those tickets early. It's not a long way to get away to the Carson Valley Inn.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
We're back on Nevada Newsmakers with Jeff Knight. He's our state entomologist and working on eradicating bugs across the state, identifying, cataloging.
Well, and that's one of the other things we have at our department available to people is identification services. And we'll identify, people can bring in whatever they, if they're curious about something, they
Good,
can bring
you brought
it
up
by.
a great topic because this happens in Fallon all the time. Someone will post on social media this bug that Dave got for us, and they'll post a picture of this bug, and the whole community will go crazy trying to figure out what this bug is. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's that my mom called him a Jerusalem cricket.
That's the proper common name.
Oh, good. Okay.
They're also called Child of the Earth.
Yeah.
Or Niña de Terra.
Okay.
Child, which is
Child,
Spanish.
okay.
But I don't, people say they look like a baby, but that's.
Yeah, they're pretty
ugly.
in a little striped shirt.
But I usually, the phone calls I get are people that say I've got an alien in my garage. But
they're awful.
They're a common insect throughout Nevada. There's several species of them.
Are they bad or good?
Yeah, neither.
Yeah.
They'll feed on, they're subterranean most of their life. They have a 2-year life cycle. And for most of their life, they're underground. They're feeding on roots and things like that. And you'll see them feed on potatoes, but there's really nothing you can do. And they're never in numbers that will really cause more than just minor, very, very, very minor damage.
And they won't bite you.
They will bite.
Oh.
If you pick them up, they've got a healthy set of jaws on them, just like Mormon crickets.
Okay.
I've never been bitten. I've been bitten by Mormon crickets, but I've never been bitten by a Jerusalem cricket.
Okay.
But people see them about this time of the year, usually late August, mid-September, and it's mating season, and they come up on the surface, and most crickets and stuff sing. You can hear their song.
Okay.
And Jerusalem crickets drum. They actually use the abdomen on the ground to attract, and each species is different. Has a different song.
That's fascinating. That's super cool.
Yeah, they're an interesting group.
Okay, here's one for you. I walked out my front door, and there's these beautiful silk streamers coming out of all my cottonwood trees with a little disgusting worm at the end of them, and I couldn't even walk through them without getting everywhere. What the heck are those?
Well, that's one of our leaf miners.
Okay.
And leaf miner is a general term, but that one happens to be a moth.
Okay.
And they are little caterpillars, and they feed on the inside. If you look at the leaves will turn brown. And if you get them early, you actually can see little caterpillars feeding inside the leaf.
Okay. Before they drop on
before
their
they
silk.
drop off, and they'll pupate.
Okay.
Or have a cocoon, and then they turn into a little moth that has maybe 3/16 of an inch wingspan from tip to tip. They're a little tiny thing.
Yeah.
And they're another pest. It's like all of ours, Mormon crickets included. We have ups and downs. Very few of them we really track, other than Mormon Crickets. We have good population records on those, but some of these others, it's just a matter of the client, what's happened for they're cyclical, and with their predators and parasites and the weather and things like that cause the outbreaks.
How about these that you brought?
Well, these are spider wasps, and the larger ones we often call tarantula hawk wasps.
Okay.
And they're common throughout the state. This is the way we store professional insect collections.
Okay.
We have about 200 plus of these drawers with insects in them. But the wasps they're one we get a lot of calls on because they're big and scary looking, but actually they're very docile, they're solitary, and solitary wasps usually aren't aggressive at all. It's only our social ones that have colonies and stuff that get aggressive. But they do go out and find large spiders and tarantulas and paralyze them and put them in a hole and lay their egg on it, and the larvae then feed and emerge next year.
So these guys will go get a tarantula?
Yep.
Wow. So that was another thing I wanted to ask you. I was old before I realized we have tarantulas in Nevada. Yep. So kind of hawthorn-ish.
Well, they're all over the state pretty much.
No kidding.
To one degree or another. There's a few, if you want to call them hot spots, that are well known. The Gabs area. And their mascot is the tarantulas.
That's right.
And we had a guy that worked with our department that came from Gabs. And, he always and I talked about tarantulas. But this again that's about the time of the year you'll see tarantulas out, and they call it a migration, but it's really not a migration. All it is, the male tarantulas mature in about 4 years.
Oh.
Then they come out and they start looking like mature males do. They look for females.
A date?
And they go around, running around, looking for a female. The females stay in their burrow.
Okay.
But the males usually late in the afternoons is when the males start wandering.
And they'll be out.
Around.
It's pretty impressive.
And depending on the terrain, is what sort of focuses them into an area, and sometimes down south of Hawthorne there's an area that gets big numbers, and out by Gabs, and we used to see them a lot out by Pyramid Lake Highway. But with all the building and everything that has gone on, you don't see them much out there anymore.
Interesting. We'll take one more little break, and we'll be back in just a minute on Nevada Newsmakers.
It's the $85,000 football frenzy at Tamarack Casino, with up to $15,000 in weekly cash and free play giveaways, and $25,000 in grand prize giveaways Thursday, September 29th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino during the $85,000 football frenzy.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
Hi, I'm Renee Summerhour, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
We're back on Nevada Newsmakers with Jeff Knight, and we're talking about identifying various insects around our communities. Bugs.
Right. As I said, people can bring in specimens to our departments, our offices, and there'll be a form to fill out, and it'll get to me, and eventually I'll get it identified and they'll get an answer. And it's important to know what insect you're dealing with. If it's a pest insect or a beneficial, and we get, a lot of times people will bring in beneficial insects and want to know how to get rid of them, which you don't want to do. So you can also send in pictures via my email, or text message me. We do identifications that way.
Awesome.
A lot of times I can do it via a picture.
Okay.
And if not, I'll tell the person to bring the specimen in and we'll look at it. And it helps us. We were talking about our surveys and our invasive species, and we really want to have more eyes out there looking for things. And if people don't recognize it, it's always good to send it in. Or if they're from another part of the country and they say, hey, we had these here, do we have them here?
Okay.
That helps us out.
That's awesome. So how does somebody get a hold of you by your email?
Okay, the email is jknight@agri, agri.nv, as Nevada, .gov.
Gov. Okay. Yeah. So Jeff, JKNIGHT at agri.nv.gov. Got it. Okay. Thanks for coming on today.
You bet. It was fun.
It is. It's really fun. This is so interesting. It's good. I wish more people were doing what they love. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for being with us today on Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Rachel Dahl.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday. Trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
You can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. Our archives go back to 2005.